Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Us 3 podcast. Probably not what you were expecting when you clicked on this video. It's because we've had a few issues. My iPhone unfortunately jacked in this morning, which is what we had the footage on for the Us 3 podcast. We recorded this yesterday, me, Josh and Connor, unfortunately without Jonny. It's a great episode, so we wanted to get it out to you. So it's a bit of a makeshift version this week. Unfortunately, it is audio only. I just thought I'd leave this video at the start just to let you guys know that. We wanted to try and salvage it because it was a very, very good episode. It was a very moving and impactful episode on Connor, for Connor's behalf, and he really opened up for us. We wanted to get it out to you just so you can get to know Connor as well. We hopefully should be back next week, as we said on the podcast, with a guest and back to video. Fingers crossed. I probably deserve this for clickbaiting you last week really badly. So it's probably on me. My fault, guys. I apologise. But yeah, we hope you enjoyed the podcast. As we said, we apologise. I apologise on behalf of us three as well, because it's on me, this one. But yes, we tried to get it out to you, so we're getting it out to you. So please enjoy the podcast. Please smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. This isn't what it's normally like. Trust me, you can go back in old videos and see what it's normally like. But yeah, enjoy the pod. Hello and welcome back to the Us 3 podcasts. With a not so familiar face.
You might be thinking that. That's not John.
It's not John.
It's a giant man.
So I'm here with Josh Bailey, as always. How are you doing, Josh?
I'm alright.
Good.
I'm tired.
I'm here.
But, yeah.
You're tired? Yeah, I'm tired today, actually.
It's tiring Friday.
I'm not tired.
So, and I'm also...
That's a good job.
Well, it is a
John
good job.
will be tired, so, that's
John's
why.
always tired.
Good job Connor's here, right?
So this is Connor. Connor is our behind the scenes, so a lot of stuff that he does you don't see. He helped set up the mics when we were having technical issues on the first week of getting this set up in person. And he just does a lot for us. Like we run ideas past him, and he gives the approval. And if it's a crap idea, most of the time, Connor will go no. So we just thought we'd get Connor on because Connor, whenever one of us can't make a podcast, for example, like John's gone home for the week.
No one likes John anyway.
Well, he's gone home for 2 weeks, hasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. We thought, John, I think you should go for a bit, take a break.
Yes. Especially after his comments last week.
Yeah, he wasn't living up to the standard.
Connor's going to sit in for whenever one of us can't make it. So we just thought we'd get him on. We do a bit of a get to know session today. So I think the title is going to be something like get to know our manager. That's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be.
That's a good one.
So
you're clickbait, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm not.
But to be fair, it's not really clickbait because
it's not because you are.
Us 3 is ending, and then
that was clickbait.
I got so many messages like Us 3 is ending. I was like, no, watch the video, and we're not. Did you know that person that commented on our video? It was like clickbait filthy pod or something like that. I don't know what it was.
We're going to get known for it. But we're going to get to know Connor today. Just a bit of a few questions we're going to ask him, just so you guys know when he comes on in the future, you know a bit about him. I know you probably don't know much about me, Josh and Jonny, actually.
Yeah, we're going to know more about Connor than me, Jonny, and... I am Jonny. No, I'm not Jonny. I am Jonny. It's Josh that's gone. It's Jonny. So that means I'm a massive virgin.
We started the podcast with some silly questions.
I'm not sorry.
With a silly question, me and Josh thought of ages for age. This took us longer to think of this silly question than it did the whole podcast.
What is that silly question? I don't even know.
You did. I noted it down for you.
Just a couple of silly questions.
I noted it down for you, but you did all the work.
No. So if you had one superpower you could give to everyone in the world, what would you give to them, and how would it change the world?
Oh, that's actually a decent one.
Yeah.
I would make everyone, just because it'd be funny, like the Thing.
What?
Okay, what? So
I'd make everyone else, other than me, like the Thing. So if you've seen Fantastic Four...
I was thinking Cat in the Hat.
No, if you...
It's a bit different. It's a bit different. Fantastic Four, Cat in the Hat.
Have you seen Fantastic Four?
I've seen the original.
So you know the big rock man?
Yeah.
I'd make everyone into him.
Okay.
Right? Because then, right, other than me, of course, because everyone could then lift anything. Like, you won't get anyone going, I can't lift this, because everyone can lift everything.
Everyone will be rocks.
But then, everyone will be rocks. So I will be the most handsome man in the world.
Technically.
Would you want to get with a rock woman?
Technically.
No offense to rock women out there.
If there's any rock women out there.
Josh, given my track record, I'll take anything right now.
But
I mean, any of us would take a rock if they showed interest.
Yeah.
Big. Rock
women.
breasts.
What about The Rock? The Rock would no longer be having any needs. Like Dwayne Johnson, what would happen to him?
Yeah, everyone would be The Rock.
Yeah.
Everyone would be The Rock.
So if you smell what The Rock is cooking, The Rock would be
would
cooking.
Rock turn into The Rock? So it'd be The Rock.
It'd be The Rock.
Or be the stone.
Oh.
Or the pebble. Or the, you know, the...
Oh, that's a downgrade. It's a downgrade on The Rock.
The pebble.
Yeah, but technically if everyone is The Rock, then it is a downgrade on
Would
The Rock.
everyone be rocks, or would some people be pebbles? How would it work?
No, everyone would be like you'd have different sized rocks because everyone has to keep their size. You can't have everyone the same size.
Yeah.
Good point.
Because
Good
you
point.
know everyone has to be unique. They still have to keep their unique.
Why
tendencies.
I'd be like massive rock, some massive like.
So some will be
individual.
massive rocks, some will be smaller rocks, some will have a small rock, some people will have a bigger rock.
I know you're applying to my penis. I want to say it's an average size. Okay, it's not small.
It's not smart. So, speaking of superpowers, we wanted to go into your. This is really cringe segue, but your superpower for us, Connor, is helping us set up the podcast.
We've gone from penis to that.
Yes. Well, so yeah, we wanted to go into you creating content because we know. All right, Connor, if that's where you want to put your rock, mate. We wanted to talk about because obviously you're massive on creating content, which is why you know all this stuff. You know how this works. We wanted to go into. Where did it start? How did it start? Like, in terms of you actually creating content, what was the first bit of content you...
Sorry, just yawning.
Okay. What was the first bit of content you
It's not
actually...
that boring.
Yeah, I'm going to say, what was the first bit of content you actually remember making and how did it come about? Like, what was the inspiration for it?
Basically, it all started at the start of lockdown. So lockdown happened, and most people will know by now. But when lockdown first happened in the UK, exams were cancelled almost immediately.
Like if you didn't know that, then.
If you didn't know that, you
You
could
didn't know,
have
we
been
might be
under a rock.
non-UK.
So,
Non-UK.
yeah.
Probably.
Mr. Worldwide.
So basically, it started then, and as soon as exams got cancelled, I remember this so vividly because the first thing, like, I had my laptop and I was making a revision timetable, and I only because I really do struggle to keep on top of stuff. Although you guys won't realise that because I'm quite on top of a lot of things, I struggle with that. So that's why I constantly make lists and schedules.
Ready to flex.
Yeah, but
So-
behind.
So I was like, right, I need to do this. So as I was doing it, boys came on TV and then told us that exams were cancelled. And I remember vividly, I looked at my dad and went, what do I do now? It was like one of those like movie moments.
yeah.
I literally just looked at him and went, what do I do now? And I thought about it for ages and I was like, well, I'm worried now because exams are cancelled whether I'll get into uni or what will I have to do? Will exams be enough? So I was like, I need to do something extra. So my dad was like, well, why don't you do YouTube? And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like my dad was really supportive, probably the most supportive person like to do with it all. So he was just like, why don't you do this? He gave me his old camcorder. So it didn't even have a camcorder to start. So I started off my first video because I've just reached a year. Same as when you reached a year on TikTok.
It's weird, that, isn't it? How we never knew each other and we
Yeah.
both have the same anniversary of starting making content.
Imagine two people starting the same, one of different things at the same time. It's crazy. Wow.
No,
I am flabbergasted.
Well, it's the fact we didn't know each other and we're now starting a podcast together and we both started on the same day.
Wow.
So when did you start, mate?
He still hasn't.
No.
We have other things. We all have different things that we do. So just shut up.
I got kind of sorry.
So yeah, it started off, and when I did my yearly thing, I went through all my videos from start to finish. I didn't make people watch all of them, but I like my highlights went through, and I looked at my first ever video, and it's literally me sat down on my bed, webcam, and me talking. So I started off doing review. You right there?
I can say what?
Oh no, that just sounds really dodgy.
Me on my bed talking.
Yeah, true.
I'm out. Me on my bed.
Yeah, true.
What type of videos were you doing, Connor? You saucy bastard.
I was doing TV show and movie reviews, which is very weird. Knowing what my content is now, it's so weird looking back because I'm a massive movie and TV nerd. I really am. I love it all. So I did those. My first ever one was the movie Truth or Dare. I reviewed that one. It's the one where they play Truth or Dare and then there's just smiley faces and they're like,
Have you not seen it? I've seen it.
Oh yes, yeah.
It's really weird.
It's a decent film, actually. It's not bad.
It's
not
Can I
bad.
swear?
Yeah, of course you can.
It's crap.
It's not a swear. It's shit.
It's just crap.
Yeah.
Absolutely crap. So I didn't enjoy it, but it was all right. So I did that to start off with, and that's how it started. And then I slowly upgraded equipment. So the next piece of equipment was a camcorder. Then I realised that I have a reasonably good phone that is 10 times better than the camcorder, and I don't know why I never used
because
my
the
phone.
iPhone cameras nowadays, they're
So
incredible.
good.
Like we record this on an iPhone. It's like you don't need to start now. You do not need a camera.
No.
You just use your iPhone. Your iPhone camera now is as good as a camera that you can get cheap.
That's where it all started, and I started off with basically reviews, content, and then it slowly developed into gaming, and then everything. And then like I've got loads of different ideas. Some ideas worked, some ideas haven't over the last year. But I remember so vividly because it all just happened in the same like time frame. So it's so easy to actually remember, which is quite nice because it's always nice to remember where you started.
You spoke about your dad then. Like, has he been a big inspiration and an influence on this in getting you started?
So basically, with my dad is he probably won't watch this anyway, but my dad's one of these people. He never got it. Since I was a kid, I've loved YouTube. I've watched it since it almost started, and I've like loved it. Like I remember like and I know people brag about it all the time, being at the start of a creator, but I remember watching when Jacksepticeye had about 100,000 subscribers. I was there from reasonably from the start, and but my dad never understood it. He never understood it. But what my dad's always been good at is understanding what's best for me, and he knew before I did, and I'd already considered doing it before, but he knew before I did that
just in case.
Yeah.
Sorry, just in case. Just in case.
He
we're not
knew
afraid.
before I did that YouTube was the way to go, and he knew that that was a good way of getting my name out there and keeping myself occupied during lockdown, because he knew I'd struggle because I don't like doing nothing. Like people and you guys have always told me I never stop working, and that's because I just don't like it. I don't like doing nothing. So at least if I'm not doing work, I'm doing something else. Sorry, back my mic. I'm doing something else, and so he knew that would keep me occupied. So he's always been supportive and always tried his best, like, to understand where I'm coming from, and is like whenever I tried something new, he's like, "Yeah, that's a good idea," or maybe you can do this instead. He's been really supportive.
Was you surprised then when like he said to you and he gave his help to it?
Yeah, I was really surprised, and one of the big reasons was because he just didn't understand, and he didn't understand what was best to do. He didn't understand any of the softwares, but he's very similar to me. He knows a bit about computers, so he knew how to get me started. He knew a few softwares, like he knew a free version of Photoshop called GIMP.
It's weird.
It's a really weird name.
Why would you call your company that?
How they got away with it as well?
I don't know. And the logo is a cat or something with a paintbrush. Is apparently
Mad. I've never heard that.
Why? That's got nothing to do with editing photos either.
no.
It must stand for something. GIMP must stand for something. They wouldn't call a company GIMP.
I wouldn't know. Anyway, sorry.
So so he knew about that. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And I started using that for my thumbnails, and it's a really good software. I've got Photoshop now, which, don't get me wrong, 10 times better. But for a starting point, GIMP was so good. And then
Out of context, bragger.
And then it was like all on editing softwares, and that's the one we had to do a bit more research on. But he helped me with researching and stuff. And it's the same. I've got a PC on the way to replace my gaming laptop that I got. I didn't get this for YouTube. I got this. It was just a present off my dad for Christmas because I liked my games, so he wanted me to play more. So I'm getting a replacement for this, and my PC, and he's helped me build it and like know what stuff needs to go where, and has really like helped me basically progress all my equipment forward.
What did that mean to you then? Because obviously if you said that your dad's never really got it,
Yeah.
what did that mean to you then, like as a person, for him to help you and for him to really get you started?
Because it meant a lot, like so much, just because it just showed that he understood this is what I wanted to do. Like there are some people in my family, some people in my family, I'm just going to say that, that don't understand and don't really try to. And so for my dad to go away and be like, no, I'm not only going to help you in terms of emotional support, I'm going to help you actually get started and get you off the road. It meant a lot because it clearly showed to me he knows this is where I want to go.
Yeah. Who would you say were your inspirations then, Connor? Because obviously your dad gave you the ability and the belief to start, and who was it who would you say influenced your content in a way that allowed you to develop the content that you make now and the content that you want to make in the future? Like who would you say?
Like YouTubers?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Or anyone, really. I mean, it could be anyone.
Like, so I didn't know whether you meant like because obviously at home it would be my dad, but like, in terms of YouTubers, the two main ones are, well, there's three now, but the two main ones to start off with anyway were Jacksepticeye and Markiplier. More Markiplier than anything because he does a bit more variety. Well, like over the course of his entire YouTube, he's done more variety, whereas Jacksepticeye has gone into more variety now, because he's got built the platform. Markiplier's done variety from start to finish, because that's just who he is. I've probably accidentally not spoken into the mic, but hey ho.
Oh well. Just slide this way as well. I'm just really cautious that we're not in shot because it's good stuff.
It's good stuff. Fine. I'm absolutely fine.
And I'm just cautious.
So Markiplier for definite would be like my top of the tier, like priority.
How did he influence you then? In what way? So like. So how's your content similar to his? How's it been affected?
Just the way I edit. So basically, like Jacksepticeye was always, he was always the shouty Irishman, was what he was known as. Markiplier was known for a bit more of a calm nature, but suddenly something would happen that would make him shout or something like that. So there's and like his just sarcastic tone as well. Like you guys would know, I'm very sarcastic, extremely.
Yeah, but it's fun though. Your humour.
But I struggled at the start to really portray that in my content, and then as things have progressed and as I've gotten better with my editing, I've tried to really show it off. And I feel like recently, probably since about start of the year, I've really shown like my personality on screen a bit more in terms of my editing and stuff. And
in what way have you done that then?
So a lot of the time, and it's probably useful for people starting, like, but especially when it comes to comedic bits. So if you like something that you find funny but you can't seem to pull off on camera, zooming is always a good shout. Like zooming into the face. If you're talking, a good thing to do as well is what I've noticed other people do and what I do is. You usually have a box, especially when you're doing gameplay. When you're saying something, but you don't want to block the entirety of the game, as you're saying something stupid, increase the camera size and make it fill the screen more and more. As the funnier it gets, the more what you're saying. Because people are paying attention to what you're saying anyway. But if your screen's getting bigger, it's like a preparation to something funny is about to happen. Like it's psychologically something funny is about to happen. Another thing that I've only realised recently, and I learned it a little bit off you as well, is stopping music. Yeah. If you stop the music at a perfect point, like just before a punchline or something like that, people listen. Yeah. Because and always have music on in the background because awkward silences are horrible, like really bad, because you all you're doing is taking a breath. You might think that, but as a viewer, it's like nothing's happening, like no audio, and a lot of people casually watch, so they stick you on in the background. They don't just sit. A lot of viewers don't just sit there and watch. A lot of people just stick you on the background while they're doing something else, so they hear nothing. It bothers them. Whereas if they're constantly hearing things, it's a lot easier for them to watch from start to finish your content. So I think those are like the big things that I've learned, and especially like the zooming and the making the camera bigger. Even if it's just a full face cam, like zooming in really helps. It's a psychological thing for viewers, but you'll notice as you're editing it, you're gonna laugh a little more when you edit it that way than what you would have.
So what are your 3 tips then? So getting started, because you're not, with the bigger guests and stuff, but it's always good to get someone who's smaller and just starting. So what are your 3 tips to get started for people that are watching this and want to do something similar?
If I was to say like my 3 biggest tips, I think one of the big ones is mentally. For me, it was the whole mental game of how are people going to react. And for me, what you need to do is you need to promote yourself when you are ready. So make a Twitter. The first thing you do is make a Twitter. Even if it's like anonymous, not linked to you, make a Twitter. It's the easiest thing to do, because you can upload your videos, hashtag it, this, that, and the other. But it's that mental game of 9 times out of 10, people don't care. Like, I've noticed that, like, the people that care are 9 times out of 10 the people that, like, they don't... It's hard to explain. Like, they're the people that are probably jealous of you, because you're making something happen, whereas a lot of other people are stagnating. And a lot of other people leave... Like, I did it as I was leaving school. So, everyone else was leaving school asking, what am I going to do with my life? I left school and I was doing something immediately. So a lot of the sarcastic comments I got of people being like, we don't care, was people who are known to have stagnated, don't have a clue what they want to do with their lives, stuff like that. 9 times out of 10, people who say things like that are jealous, because most people, surprise, surprise, watch YouTube. As much as people are like, oh, YouTube, people watch it. Pretty much everyone watches it that are our age. So if they watch it, someone's going to create it.
It's just different types of content they watch, isn't it? That's
precisely.
What it is.
And that the first tip is mental barrier. No one cares. In the nicest way, no one cares. No one in the world cares and gives a rat's ass whether you are doing it or not. It's all about how good you are at doing it. The second thing is, like, always remember where you started. It's very easy to forget. And that's why for my 1 year, I wanted to, like, always learn. Watch back your videos. Remember where you start, because, like, it might sound corny, I'm going to watch back my video. But you've worked hard, you've edited it. Watch it back.
You should be proud of it as well.
Yeah.
It's something that you're
Also to improve as well.
Yeah.
I watch
Is it entertaining? Because if you don't find it entertaining, who else will? And then it's like, well, why isn't it entertaining? Try and change that. And I know I'm making it sound a lot easier than it is, but it's a good place to start.
You work on the smaller things before you can go to the bigger things. Yeah.
So that's where I started bringing in my sarcasm. Was I realised that during my videos, the sarcasm was always there, but it was trying to portray it on camera. How can I make it clear? How can I make it clear that that's what I wanted? That's where I wanted, what I wanted you to get out of it. So it's always watch back your videos and go, right, did I like this? Did I not like this? Was that edited badly? There's a couple of times where I've missed an edit. Like, there's certain parts where... And
it bugs you, doesn't it? 'Cause you can't change it. It really bugs me. When I watch back my old YouTube videos and I look, and there's like, there'll be there's 1 or 2 mistakes in there that I've just forgotten to edit, and watching it back really, like, aggravates me, because I'm like, I can't change that now. That's out there. And it's one of those things where you, like, for me... I'm like OCD. It has to be perfect. I'm a perfectionist, and if it's not right, I have to go back and do it. And the fact that you can't change it, but watching it back allows you not to make them same mistakes in the future, like Connor said. But yeah, go on, Connor. What's the third? What do you think the third thing?
And final thing is, it's difficult. Is always come up with new ideas. Like, don't be scared to come up with new things, because. One of my biggest series, my biggest series on my channel is a game called TW 2020. You probably don't know what that is. So for anyone that doesn't, I'm very much into wrestling. So there's a wrestling game where those of you like football will know Football Manager and stuff like that. It's very much like that, but for wrestling. So you book it, and then you get back ratings. They rate how well those matches were perceived, and then you've got to improve that. And then you just book it and book and book. Now, in all honesty, it's quite a boring game. Like, it really is. Like, especially to watch, it's so difficult to watch. Like, not many people get it right. And I'm not saying I have. I'm not even going there, but I've tried to. And I went to do that, And I had a conversation with my dad. I said, I really like this game. I've got no time in my own time to play this game. So I'm going to do a series on it, and I'm going to get no views, but I'm going to try. And I remember saying to my dad, I'm going to get no views. I'm going to get no views. Right now, I won't check it now, but it has my first TW video, like on the current series that I'm on, because my other series got, I lost all the content. That's a conversation for a different day. But on that series, it's about 700 views. Now, for a channel that has 167 subs.
700 views, like together as an accumulated?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And the watch time is quite high on it as well. Which shows that...
Because they're longer videos. They are
longer videos, much longer. But it's like, I said to my dad that series would flop. And here I sit today, and that's my best series. And that's the series I focus my entire YouTube content around, is I've got to get one of these out a week because they're my best, and then everything else fits around it. So the biggest thing for me is, if you've got an idea, run with it. Like, once you get a basis of how you would do it, go with it, because trust me, the likelihood is you'll be surprised, and one of the series you thought would flop will become one of your best.
The biggest advice I could give as well is just do it. Like, you're going to get people that say stuff, like Connor said, whether they're jealous or what it is, you're going to get people to say stuff. You're never going to make everyone happy. You're never going to be able to make everyone think, oh, he's doing something good. But when you are doing something good or something you enjoy, you're more likely to succeed at it. And if you're saying, I might do it I might start YouTube soon, I've always wanted to do YouTube, or I've always wanted to do TikTok, blah, 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 whatever, I've always wanted to start a podcast like us.
Yeah.
Just do it. Because if you start now, you're getting a head start over all those people that are saying they're going to start in the future when they start in the future. Say if you start out, say, I'm going to start next year, and so are 200 other people. But if you start now, you're getting a 6-month head start on every single person who's saying they're going to start next year.
Just do it. And they kind of not caring what people think. Isn't it?
Literally. I know that's easier said than done, though. That is far easier said than done.
Yeah.
Like, is not caring what people think. It's one of these things, and that is probably one of the main block from what people think. Like, at school, if you're saying, I'm doing YouTube, it's not exactly the best received thing, is it? You do get a bit of stick for it. Like, I've had a bit of stick for it. I didn't even do YouTube at school, but I've had stick for the stuff that I've done, like with content and stuff. But in terms of you, Connor, in school, like, obviously that is a big blocker for a lot of people doing YouTube. How was it received at school? How were you supported with your friends?
So, it's funny you asked that, because I was going to say, when you mentioned friends and stuff, so when I started, not many people knew. So the only people that knew were my dad, my girlfriend at the time, pardon?
Just player.
My dad, my girlfriend at the time, and my very close mates, like a couple that I knew would take it reasonably well. And then I asked them, can you support me? Can you just hit the like button, even if they don't watch? Trust me, if they don't watch it, at least have them hit the like button, because it just helps.
Yeah, it does.
But like I just said, can you just watch it over? Tell me what you think. And then the first couple of videos, they were like, yeah, this is good, but this wasn't okay, or like the audio was a bit off, or blah blah. And then over time, I then didn't go to them, and that wasn't because I got too big for them or whatever, but it was because I started to learn on my own. But at the start, it's always good to see what other people think, and it took me probably a month before I told anyone. Like, told everyone and made it clear on my Snapchat and my social medias.
What was that reaction like then?
The reaction, no one, in all honesty, at that time, I didn't get a single person message me and go, that's rubbish.
You won't, but then it's the people behind your back.
It's more behind your back, but you don't know that. And 9 times out of 10, you don't know that. I know some people will be at school, and luckily I did it when I wasn't at school anymore, and I'd left. But like, for people, like, we'll probably touch on other stuff that I did as well, but like, on NCS when I dressed up as a girl, this, that, and the other, like, that got into the school, and people were like, haha, and I was like, yeah, so what, I had fun. Like, as long as you're enjoying it, keep going. And
what was life in school like for you then? Like, Was it easy? Was it
Even,
hard?
yeah, even before the content.
What was like, just before the content in general?
So it was always quite difficult for me. Like it could have been worse. Don't get me wrong. Could have been 10 times worse. Like because I was the kid that a lot of people knew. Like everyone knew who I was because one of those big reasons is I'm 6'4", 6'5".
Probably gonna get you from that far.
I have been the same height for the past 3 years,
Have you?
4 years.
Right,
I
okay.
haven't really grown.
Same.
So, so you imagine like while everyone else was growing, I pretty much stopped and I was at a very large height. So,
I stopped, but I was at a small height.
so like a lot of people knew me as the tall kid, blah blah. And I was decently academically. I wasn't the best, never was, but because I was reasonably high in the class, like probably the top like 25%, but I was one of those that was willing to help everyone. People were like, I'm going to go to him because he's willing to help everyone. I can get answers. So a lot of my friends, I realised once I left school, were just there for getting stuff off of me, like getting answers and stuff. So that realisation hurt a lot. When I moved schools after NCS, I moved schools to this. So I went from high school to sixth form because I moved to where so I lived in this place called Redditch from about halfway through year 7 until I left to go uni. Before that, I lived in a village called Honeybourne, like this tiny little thing. And I moved to a completely different area. No one knew me, blah, blah, blah. But middle school was pointless. Yeah. High school was then that, and I didn't really have a close group of mates. Like, I jumped from group to group. And literally that's what I was. I would go to one group for a few months, and then I'd jump to the next one because I could never stay around there long because I would just get excluded again. And that's how it came.
Excluded from the group?
Yeah.
What would reasons for that be? Just...
one was I wasn't cool enough, was one.
I wouldn't know how that feels because I'm really cool.
The other one was I wasn't sporty enough to be in the sport group because I never made it into the teams. Basically, a few of them said I should have made it into the teams, but because I didn't, that a few of them were just like, well, just leave them. Then the others, like there was a it's a group I was with for the longest amount of time, and I thought like these are going to be my mates for ages. And then this new guy came into the group, and everything blew up. Like everything went really bad in the group, and that it got all blamed on me because the guy blamed it on me. So then they went bugger off. So I was like,
what was that like?
It hurt a lot because I was really close with them, and like it felt like no one believed me. Probably one believed me.
Okay.
That it wasn't my fault, but at that point all the others were like, well, it is, so there was nothing that
Did you see that as kind of a them problem, the fact they didn't believe you, or did you blame it on yourself?
At the time I blamed it on myself.
Okay.
I thought like, well, I must have done something wrong, this, that and the other, which is what led me to NCS because I said no initially. It was like, I'm not going to do it. Then I lost most of my friends, and then I was like, I need to do this for myself. So I did. And then that's what led me to then leave that school and go to a different one. And then at that one was a lot better. Like everyone knew me for the right reasons. Like people liked me.
It's like uni, isn't it? You come with no one knowing. Well, obviously there's going to be some crossovers, but no one's going to know like your true background, is there? Obviously.
Yeah. So and it was only like down the road as well, the school, and there was only a couple of crossovers, and like a few of them knew mistakes I've made in the past, and this, that, and the other. And stuff like that. Sorry, I thought the audio had gone wrong, and I was about to cry. So I was like, there was a few crossovers, but it wasn't bad, and it was. And then they helped me through it. And even and I was with this group, don't speak to many of them anymore. The group just naturally split off, it's so much nicer. Like it feels horrible when your group naturally splits apart and drifts apart from each other. But trust me, that's 10 times better than being kicked out.
Yeah.
10 times better, because at least that way it's natural, and at no point can you blame yourself because they've moved from multiple people in the group, not just one, and it makes it a lot easier to digest. So, but that school, like a few of them helped me a lot. Like I had a lot of problems with this one ex. I won't go into too much detail, but I couldn't personally break up with them because they messed with my head. So and my friend had to help me do it and get through it.
How did you want to go?
I was just going to say about NCA, so that's what I was going to touch on.
I just want to say, how was that then? How has that shaped you now? Like, what have you taken from that? What have you learned from that? How has it just improved you as a person or changed you?
The big thing I'd have to say is I'm not as scared to lose friends. And in some respects, it's a bad thing because I can be seen, and I know that's a weakness of mine, I can be seen to not try as hard. But in a way, it's better because it means that I'm not like almost like a conjoined twin to these group of friends. Like I will just happily go and meet other people. And that's helped me a lot at uni as well, because you do have to go out and meet people, and that's helped me a lot in I will just go and see people. I'm not joined to like the couple of people that I know, like, you know, and it doesn't bother me as much if like you two aren't at like a gathering that I'm at. It doesn't matter. I don't feel as though if I'm in class without you guys, I'm going to be alone. Whereas beforehand, I would feel like that.
How did you drag yourself out from being at that lowest point then? Like, how did you get out of that? Because obviously you said with your girlfriend and stuff, you actually were struggling. How did you get out, and how did you get to the point where you
this is where probably when you ask me about Markiplier, this is where Jack Semteguy comes in. This whole PMA attitude, positive mental attitude. And it, like, whenever something bad happened, I'd whisper PMA, PMA, PMA. And I'd just try and get myself through it, because I did go through such a low point. And, like, I'd whisper that to me every day. When I did something good, I made sure, and it sounds corny at the start, but it helps you at the start. It helps progress you. At the end of the day, I'd try and think, like, what was something I did good today? What was something I did well? Because when you're so low, you think so little of yourself. It takes you to get to that low point to then build yourself back up. Unfortunately, some people don't get that opportunity because of the things that happen.
Mental state and everything.
They don't get that opportunity. I'm lucky enough that I got that. I got to the lowest of the low, managed to get through that, and I came out the other side and was like, I need to get better or I'm not going to make it. And that's what
would you say then, like, if you were to give a couple of reasons, like not a couple of reasons, but like the important ways and like the ways to get out of it? What are the most important like reasons are to get out of something, like, if there's people out there?
So the biggest thing was, so when I was at the lowest, I didn't speak to any of my family. My family still don't know the majority of the things that went through my mind at the time. But what, like, if you're close with a teacher, because mine was at school, definitely go to that teacher because they are trained to deal with that. It doesn't matter which one you go to, as long as you're close to them, they will be there. The one that was there for me was Miss Knight, this teacher called Miss Knight. She was my form teacher at the time, and like, she probably broke the rules and hugged me in the corridor, but she knew that was what I needed, and she didn't care because she knew that's what I needed.
It was more of less of a teacher to student touch and more of a chat. More of a person to person chat. That's what it is.
She like, they understand you as a person, and that's like a big thing. When you're ready, speak to your friends. And I say when you're ready because a lot of people go, just talk. It's not always that way. So it's a lot easier just to take that step back.
But you have always got someone there to support you when you need it. Even if you need to go, even if, you know, no one's ever alone. You may feel like you're alone, but it's, even if it's reaching out to a complete stranger, sometimes, like, you know, like, these phone lines are set up for a reason. They're trained to know to what to do in them situations. And I know it's easier said than done. It's so easy to just say, just talk to someone, like you said, talk to a friend. But you are never alone. There is always someone that you can speak to if you need to speak to, and that's why they're there. That's why they're set up.
Another thing I've done recently is, and you guys will know this, is on my Snapchat I created a private story. I created a private one called Deep Thoughts, which sounds quite corny, but I created it because, and I put on my public story, when I'm feeling down, I need to get it out. So if anyone wants to join the story, please do. But if you don't feel pressured. Like, I won't think of you any differently as a friend or anything like that. Because some people, admittedly, aren't good at that type of stuff. And that's fine. That is fine. But I gave them that option. And I was surprised at the amount of people that joined it. The amount of people, and you'll be surprised. Just have so many people be surprised how many people probably do care that you didn't realise did. But then by doing that, even if only 5 people join, it gives you an outlet to write it all down, type it all down, and it goes out to the world. And then that helps your brain, because I always used to bottle it up, and because I wasn't a writer, some people write down their feelings. I was never a writer, so. The best thing for me was to get it out, and I felt like I couldn't really talk, so the best way was text. So that's why I created that, and that was only over Christmas. So it's only a few months ago.
It was just before we left on it for Christmas. I think.
So it's like, and yes, I'm through it. Like, I'm through the dark stages, but they will always stay there. Like, they never go, and I think that's a lot what people forget is they never go. It's just they've lessened, and. You've but you learn to handle that. You will, over time, learn what things make you happy. And by doing those first few things to give yourself an outlet, to let it out, you can then work on your coping mechanisms. No, your coping mechanisms are 10 times easier to work out, because there's stuff, you will do things that make you happy, like watch your favourite TV show, stuff like that. And the coping mechanisms are a lot easier than actually dealing with it. And if you can find a way to deal with it, it makes the rest a lot easier. Yeah,
definitely. So you will just absolutely backtrack, because I was going to throw you in it a while back, but Josh had some things to say. But we were saying about NCS, and you were saying about how much that helped you and stuff you did on there. And, I imagine it's had a similar effect as university. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you put yourself in out of your comfort zone to go and meet new people and try and have that fresh start. So talk us to NCS, because you've told me and Josh this story that is, and it's nice, and it's a real nice story, because we and Josh were talking about it yesterday when we were planning it, and we said we have to get this on the podcast, because it's one of those ones where you hear it when NCS come to your school for the assemblies, and obviously you hear them coming in, and they always tell these stories about how it changed kids' lives, but you never actually hear like a personal account of someone that's been through it, and it's someone that's actually helped, and you're living proof of that. You are living proof of the NCS advert of this hype of NCS, but. The story that you tell, it's lovely. So go, I'm just going to hand you the floor. I'm going to tell the story, can I come?
So I've alluded to it before. It all started when I lost most of my friends.
It's a lovely story, by the way. If I didn't say it enough, it's a lovely story.
So
better live up to the expectations.
Colin just absolutely just didn't tell half the story and just gives it away.
Massively shot now. John's friend's gonna be so disappointed.
Yeah.
So
I've got to mention him here.
Ryan Chowdhury.
Ryan Chowdhury. We love you. Okay, we love you, Ryan.
Oh God, sorry. He's saying.
But we hate John.
Obviously. So it all started when I had I lost all my friends. Like, we had a massive bust up. And where I'm from, so we were in like the Worcester area, so there were 3 catchments. So there was Kidderminster, Bromsgrove and Redditch were all like a little catchment. It's expanded since then, but that was... And then there were 3 waves, 1, 2 and 3. Each one, especially in the Redditch area at least, there were 3 main schools. There were 4 main schools, but 1 never really took part. That's been on your foot the entire time.
Yeah, that's really annoying. Did it even come off?
Okay. So there were like 4 main schools, but 2 of them merged into 1. So wave 1 was known to have the cool kids who didn't care, don't want to do it, but are there because it's funny and it's a joke. It's not a joke if you actually enjoy it. Like, if you go there to enjoy it,
with the right intentions,
the right intentions, you will enjoy it.
I said everything was a joke.
Yeah, you would struggle.
Yeah.
So, and then wave 2 was the school I was at, which was Arrowvale at the time, and then the 3rd wave, no one really knew about. And they were like, yeah, it's this school, St. Augustine's or whatever. It's this school. And I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, right, I'll just do this then, whatever. I was like, and my mum, I literally looked at my mum and I went, you are making me go on this. I said, no matter how many times I kick, squeal, moan, I said, you are forcing me to go on it.
Yeah.
No matter what. Yeah, no matter what.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay. And I said, and she was like, wave 2 or 3. I said, wave 2 is the one that all my mates are on. She clicked on it. I went, no. Wave 3. She was like, you want to be on your own? I said, yeah. I said, it's the only way. I said, I'm going to push myself
To meet new people.
is if I'm on my own. I said, if I'm on wave 2, I said, I'm just going to either not enjoy it or it's like I'm going to be with the same people I'm with before. Nothing changes. Sorry, gassy there. So I went on wave 3, returned up, and surprisingly, I didn't kick up a kick and a fuss. I didn't. I just
groan.
Yeah, I just
And a moan and a squeal.
I just did it. I just went and I was like, right, I'll just do it.
You put yourself in the mindset.
Yeah, I put myself in the mindset. I think the fact that I told my mum, make sure I go on it, was like, made
Determined,
me determined to go on it.
Yeah.
So I just moved there. I got uncomfortable there. So that's what I did. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So I went on it. First week was residential, and I met my group and stuff, and there were a couple of people in my group that I knew, and I didn't like, and they didn't like me, and I got very concerned. Like almost immediately, alarm bells were going off. I was like, I'm gonna hate this. And then I don't know what happened, but we did this little like event, like treasure hunt thing. Like it was, and I just took it as a joke, and I did, and it worked. Like I took it as a joke, and then we had a laugh, and there's a picture of me holding a stick with a massive smile on my face. Because all it was like,
I always smile.
it was like take a picture of a stick, take a picture of a cow, this, that, and the other. And I was like,
Sounds so much fun. Do NCS.
yeah,
Let's take pictures of the cow.
that first task was awful,
Yeah.
but we made fun of it.
Yeah, you
And
made it a good time. Yeah.
we made it a good time. So that's what kickstarted it, and you meet the people in your tent, blah blah. They literally, you get one friend in your tent, and if you don't choose a friend, that you're on your own in the tent.
Yeah.
But what they try and do is they force you to mix with people. You can't be in a tent with 6 people that you know.
Yeah.
You're in a tent.
Pointless. The whole
Why
point
would
is to go meet new
why
people.
would you ever want to be in a tent with 6 people in the first place?
Because that's what you have to do.
I feel like that would be extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's the point.
but-
He's putting himself
No,
out of his
it's
comfort
like-
zone.
it's
To...
so-
Rather than being like,
It's a big tent. It's not just like a
It's
2-man
a
tent.
teepee.
Oh.
It's a teepee.
still though, what if someone like farts?
Oh yeah, but
But it
that's,
stinks.
that's the whole
Well,
point.
it
That's the whole.
was-
It's more memories, isn't it, French?
Shits themselves. Then you're
Right.
in trouble.
No one shits themselves.
Well, there could
Yeah,
be
we-
someone
yeah.
who shits themselves.
Yeah, they could be.
Yeah, but
And then you're in the. Sorry, I've completely ruined the story, but I thought this just needs. Don't.
Just
John
carry on.
would
Just
love
take.
this.
Just.
John would be here for this.
Just.
John
John would be here for this. John would be sick of your shit.
John would join in.
Just carry on, Connor. Carry on what you say.
I'm just saying.
That's the whole point of NCS, though. You're supposed to put yourself out your comfort zone.
Yeah, but I don't want to be. I will quite happily.
Yeah, so it's not for you then, is it?
I will quite happily, get to know people, but I don't want to sleep with someone else.
You have to sleep. No, you sleep in a tent.
Aren't you sleeping with them in the tent?
Yeah, but in, like you have your own like
You
compartment.
have your own sleeping bag.
Yeah, you don't all sleep in the same.
No, I don't, no, but do you have your little like a room?
No,
No, it's a tent.
it's a tent. You're camping.
Yeah, it's like. Have you ever been
There's
camping?
some tents.
You
no.
are so.
There's some tents that have their own
You
room.
can tell he's southern, can't you? That's what you can tell.
Yeah.
Caravans, mobile homes.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. There you go. You can tell you're southern. Carry on, Connor.
Right.
Sorry.
Not. The whole point is you're meant to go out of your comfort
Zone,
zone.
yeah.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm just saying I would rather not sleep in with people
Well, it's not for you.
because if someone shits themselves, then
Yeah, but no one will shit themselves.
you never know. You never know. Could be with Kai. That would.
This is why I looked over there as soon as he said that because I knew what was coming. I
Then he
knew
could
exactly
shit-
what was
then
coming.
He might shit
So
himself.
you're taking the piss out of disability.
Taking the piss out of
No,
you.
you're taking the piss out of
I'm taking the piss
disability.
out of you.
Taking the piss
I'm
out of
taking the piss
disability.
out of you.
Taking the piss out of
I'm taking the
disability.
piss out of you.
And I have a.
You don't have disability.
Yes, I do. It's a registered disability.
You eat some.
This is getting cut. This is getting cut. This is getting cut. Carry on with your story.
Is it actually getting
Yeah,
cut?
it's getting cut. It's getting cut. I'm not having on the podcast. You slander me for saying I shit myself for having a disability. I'm not having it.
It's not a disability.
It's a registered disability. I get disability benefits from the university.
Welcome to the
because...
Us Free podcast.
Well, yeah, it's a registered disability. Anyway, carry on. You carry on with your story. Just carry on from where you left off.
Okay, so we all go intense. I'm gonna have to redo that.
Yeah.
So we all go intense, and you just don't know anyone. Whatever. So then we do different activities. So you do like rock climbing, raft building, and all this, which like some people don't enjoy, some people do. You go on a hike, but that's on like the last day. Like your last full day is the hike, which is a good point because usually by then you've made friendships and you can actually have a bit of fun with it rather than having the hike on the first day and hating it. Obviously other NCSs are different. Some lucky bastards get to go to the beach, but I don't because I live in the Midlands. So I was like, whatever. I made a lot of fun with it, and at the end of the first week, and I still have it in my drawer at home, they made us write a post-it note of something that we like of every single person in that group, which was something only really my group did. And I still keep that to this day because that, for me, that was like the start of everything. But like I was known as like the ice cream guy because like they were like, if you go faster we can have ice cream, and I got very excited about ice cream. So like the whole joke was Connor's the ice cream guy. And like someone really no one liked the oat cakes. This one guy liked the oat cakes, so he was the oat cake guy. He started to get the theme. But in my group there were 2 guys, 10 girls, and then there were 3 staff members, 1 guy, 2 girls. So it was a very girl orientated group, which was fine because usually I get on, except for my uni, which
our group's class at uni. Yeah, it's a good group.
I usually get on better with girls. I don't know what it is. It's probably because I'm a bit exuberant. Is that the word?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. I'm very energetic.
Yeah, there you go.
Guys don't like that. 9 of that 10, not saying
not
old guys.
Lads,
not like the
lads. Yeah.
I've never got on with lads. So we did, and then week 2 was the university. So you go into a university, you go on the campus. That time you do get your own room, and so you get your own room again. Like the rooms are randomized again. Like you pick one person on week 1. Like you pick somebody, and if you both pick the same if you both pick each other, they'll put you together, and then you can stay in the accommodation together. And then, like, they're just, again, 6 people, but you're in with different people again. And that's when I got a crossover, was one of the people in my room, like in my flat, was really good mates with a few of the people in my group. So that's where the crossover happened. So I was able to get close with them, and they seemed to like me and stuff. The second week's not as fun, but it's more about character building. So it's about trying to build your character, build like a backbone, really. And then there's this talent show, and this is where it all kicks off. So the talent show happens, and your group has to, throughout the week, you're told you have a talent show, you've got to do an act, like Britain's Got Talent type thing, but it's like NCS Got Talent. And you've got to do it, and your group have got to choose, this is what you're doing. And then once you've chosen that thing, you then practice it, and then you go to the talent show, and you do it. My group is full of girls, and our age group suit perfectly to High School Musical. So we were like, right, we're going to do a song from High School Musical. We had one of the girls in the group does choreography and stuff,
like dance and stuff.
Dance choreography. Like I'd done a bit before, so she kind of knew what to do. And then we built that. Like, and while we're doing this, like we'd do this in between our breaks. Dropped your pen there. Like we'd do this like in between breaks, so you wouldn't get like, you only got one designated slot. The rest was in your own time.
Gassy, I'm gonna say. Today. Very gassy.
Yeah, I am. So, and during this, like one of the timetable slots was public speaking, and that was to help you before the talent show get used to being in front of people. So first you would do something in front of your group, then your entire wave of NCS. That was like the stages. So I did my public speech. I did it on my sister, because my sister had a severe case of gastroschisis, where all of the organs are born outside the body.
Okay.
So yes, very weird. So
Yes.
she was.
Is it rare? That sounds very rare.
It's rare.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
rare. And she like she's completely fine. She went. She was in hospital like for the first 3 months
Okay.
of her life.
Yeah.
Wait, what? As in, so they're born out. The organs are born outside
so
the body.
you know where your belly closes. That's why you got a belly button. So it all closes
in, yeah.
around that part.
Yeah.
And instead, it didn't. So it didn't quite close. So they've just born. So they have to pull it all together. So like my sister doesn't have a belly button because it never closed.
Yeah, okay.
So
What did she have? Nothing.
Just a flat stomach.
it's just a little bump there.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's weird.
So they in the hospitals they call it the special belly button crew.
Okay.
So I
That's right.
it's really cool, isn't it?
It's
So
cool.
I did my public speech on her, about her because no one in the group knew it, and it was a way to kind of make people know without making a big deal out of it. Because it's not necessarily a big deal. I don't think it is, but I was like, people deserve to know at least. So I did that. We all had different public speaking, and that really helped. And then my group decided, well, why don't we do Troy and Gabriella as the main two, because they're the main two in High School Musical, and we'll swap the genders. So a guy will be Gabriella and a girl would be Troy. I nearly forgot Troy's name. Apologies to all the High School Musical fans.
To be fair, me and Josh would not watch
Yeah, I
that.
don't really care about High School Musical.
Yeah, we
I
haven't
think it's
watched it.
overrated.
I
John
was-
would be very upset.
John would be very upset.
I apologise to the fans.
That's fine. All right. That's okay.
So basically, I was like, yeah, whatever. I just sat there and I chilled. I was like, they're going to make the staff member do it because me and this other guy were quite obviously not going to do it. Then the people that I got on with just went, Connor can do it. And I was like,
Great friends.
no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And then they were like, no, you're doing it. So it went back and forth for ages. Eventually, one of the staff members, Ryan, pulled me aside and was like, come on, you're going to do it. If it gets too much, he said, I can fill in, but I want you to do it.
Yeah,
I want you to push yourself. So like, fine, whatever. So we weren't really sure what I was going to wear. Like, the girl wore my clothes because they were baggy and really
That's because of
Well,
prime
that's
match. Get
actually-
dressed.
And because you're a fashion icon as well.
Yeah.
and I'm a fashion icon, as you
To be
can
fair, I
tell.
like that jumper as well. Nice.
Thank you.
Jones can't go wrong.
So, and then for whatever reason, one of the staff members, so they always dress up every year, the presenters. So that year they dressed up as Spider-Man and Wonder Woman. And Ryan, the staff member, was Wonder Woman, which is why he could fill in when because he knew it was going to be a girl. And the whole thing was they were both going to be girls, but Ryan couldn't get a female dress or outfit, so he got Wonder Woman, and the staff member had a Spider-Man. However, the other staff member had a dress, and it was conveniently my height.
I bet you were like, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah. So I was in this leopard print dress.
Oh, please, if this photo ever gets leaked into our AT in the group chat.
I have the photos, I have the videos of everything.
Oh, you need to see it. Just don't put it anywhere. We need to see it.
Hot or not?
Hot, yeah. Gonna say, well, you're a hot female.
I am a very hot
Smash
female.
or pass.
I'd smash myself. That's the only thing I've got.
I've got nothing left.
So I went to do it, and we did it, and we organised the choreography and everything. We virtually came last, but we are convinced.
Was the leopard print not enough?
Apparently not.
What is wrong with people?
We even hid myself because we didn't want anyone to know. So we covered me up in like this massive
So it
jacket.
was a surprise?
So it was a surprise. And until we went up,
Disgusting.
people saw the makeup, and I went up. I then took off the jacket and unveiled my dress, and everyone went.
What is wrong with people? Why would you come last?
Do you know what surprised me? It reminds me of.
If you were wearing a leopard print dress, you were instantly coming first.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is
Those people with talent.
one guy knew magic.
Okay, well.
So we were screwed.
Screwed.
Yeah, we were screwed
Yeah,
because he had a talent. I just dressed up.
Well, you see, do you know what it reminds me of when
Dress.
when you said you unveiled yourself? Obviously, we watched Lord of the Rings this week. You know when Gandalf when he's the grey and he
Oh
walks
my
in and he just
God.
unveils himself. No, I'm the white.
That was basically what I did.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then I'd span around and then we started dancing this, that and the other, which was fine. It went pretty poor, to be honest, but it was fine. And then I sat down now and literally, I can tell you now, my body was like that. I was shaking like mad, and I was literally just quaking in my boots, like, not in like a comedic way. So then my friends were like, "Oh, that was brilliant, well done, well done." Then my staff member came up to me during one of the performances and went, "Connor, we need you up again." And I was like, "No."
You know, you got me once, you're not getting me again.
Yeah, you got me up once, you're not getting me up again. And he went, "No," and he explained it. Basically, what they were going to do was a Miss NCS, so like Miss America and stuff like that. Miss NCS, we all do a little, like, round by round, whittle down to 2, one wins, blah blah. And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Look, just give it a go. If it doesn't work..."
This man is very persuasive.
Ryan was, because he understood, like, he understood me, and he understood why I was so nervous.
Yeah.
And we had like loads of different moments. Like, there was one time we played ping pong together, and he pulled me to the side, and we played ping pong one on one. Like, the whole group were together, and he pulled me aside to play ping pong, and he just asked me about my life, similar to this. He just asked me about life, about time at home, because he could just see, like, something wasn't right at home. And he just got me to open up. So he just understood me, understood how to get me to open up and stuff. And he was like, "Look, if you go out in the first round, you can sit back down." That was me presuming I'd go out in the first round. So first round was a catwalk.
Oh God!
Quite with those legs, you were not going to come last.
Oh yeah.
I nearly came last. So the only person I lost to was the staff member that got me up there.
Like, he lost on purpose.
Yeah. He did that on purpose.
Everyone else, he must have entered it because he knew he'd go out first. So it was so weird, because it was just like, okay, I've gotten through that one, but that one was awful. Next one was a public speech.
Oh.
And this is on your sister?
No.
Okay, no, this was...
We had a topic, which was world peace. My speech...
The most, like, basic thing for a pageant, isn't it?
Yeah, that was the point.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you now, and this is not blowing sunshine up my ass, it was the best speech I've ever done in my entire life. I cannot put into words how good it was. And at that point, you know, a moment where someone turns the crowd? That was my turn in the crowd moment. Everyone was on my side. But that was the first moment I knew, like, entertainment was the way to go, because I was like, this is insane. Like, everyone's cheering me. Like, usually it would be like at the start, it's like, ha ha.
Everyone boo you, go boo, get off stage, Connor.
Everyone's just like, ha ha, Connor's in a dress. Now it's like, ha ha, he's funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like, I wasn't used to this. Like, I'd never felt like that before. And then the last round was a dance. Now, I'd already done a dance that night, but it's very well known, I cannot dance. Yeah. I hate dancing.
In fact, I don't think any of us can in the JNL group, can they?
I mean...
No, Harry Ewing can. Harry Ewing did...
he
used to do breakdance.
I didn't even... Robot.
He used to do breakdancing, you know? You told me to do street dancing, didn't I? I
was going to say myself.
Tommy Gorman.
That Just Dance was... Sorry, were you on that Just Dance? Was incredible.
With John?
No, you, when you did it. Oh. That video I've got of you.
I'm really good at dance. I'm really good at dance.
Gorman,
Gorman.
Is Gorman a good dancer?
Gorman.
Oh.
That video.
Oh.
The video, if this gets 20 likes, we'll release the video of Gorman on the Netflix podcast.
I'll show mine and my nan. I'll show my whole family.
Did you?
That video of Gorman, they found it very funny.
Yeah, now I need a painkiller.
So... I don't like it. So when I was told I would have to go head to head with this really well-liked guy, like, you know, those like cool guys that aren't like one of the cool guys, but they just are naturally cool.
Yeah, and everyone likes them.
He was just so naturally cool, and I was just like, I'm never going to beat this guy. So when I started dancing, and they were cheering me over him, like,
face turn.
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely goosebumps.
Yeah,
because I didn't know what to do with myself, because it was like, and then it went to like at the end, like the way they found out who won was like cheer. And I obviously got the louder cheer, and that's not because no, it was because everyone came up to me afterwards.
I was robbed.
Everyone came up to me afterwards and said, your cheer was the
Yeah,
loudest,
yeah.
like by a country mile, but the staff wanted it to be a draw because they don't want a winner.
How did that feel then? Like when that happened?
But when you were robbed of Miss
you were robbed of-
NCS 2018.
No, but that moment for you, because it really does seem like a turning point in your life. So like that whole moment where you'd been a kid that kind of had been shy and lived in like the shadows, and now you're a kid that's got up and everyone's cheering your name and everyone wants you to
Literally
win.
everyone was cheering.
What was that feeling? Describe it.
It was surreal, so surreal. Like to just stand there and people like because everyone had like a drag name. Mine was like Connie, and everyone was going Connie, and I was like, this is just nuts. Like I out of nowhere this is happening. I don't understand. Like, and I was shaking, but like for a good reason. I was like this, like goosebumps and everything. And then when everyone came up to me afterwards and were wanting photos and stuff, it was like I was a celebrity.
So from there on in, then how had your outlook changed on life?
Well, up to that point, I'd wanted to be a lawyer or a police detective.
Oh yeah, you told me this story. This story's creepy. The one that you said about the pain.
Oh yeah, the
This
stabbing
is
pain.
creepy.
No, I'll tell you that story afterwards. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be a police detective or a lawyer throughout my entire life, up until that moment. And that moment, I started to question what I wanted to do in my life. And it was only when I changed school that they literally asked me, "No, not what do you want? Like, not what's like your dream.
Your ideal.
What would make you happy? What job?" And I was like entertainment, and that's when they helped me.
Yeah.
But did you view life differently though? Like,
Yeah.
did you? What was your outlook? Like, how did you view it from that point on? Like, how were you acting? Like, how did it change you?
It made me realise that I didn't have to like go in on myself anymore. I could just be myself. Like by being myself, by being expressive, by being energetic and excitable, which was the whole reason why I got on better with girls and stuff. Like if I'd let that out fully, like this entire time, maybe I would have been liked more, or maybe I would have found my group, this, that, and the other. And this entire time, I do not regret a single thing I did up until like because that point is poignant in my life. Like it needed to happen, but it's like it made me realize that if I'm myself more, if I'm this energetic guy, this laughable, just happy-go-lucky guy that I've always felt like I was, would I be liked more? And in the end, that was true. I lived up to that. I changed school, and I lived up to that attitude, and I was so much more liked, and so much more people respected me because they knew that was who I was, and that was. And it was like, okay, like people like me for me, and people like me for being the idiot and the crazy person that I am, not because I'm just nice.
Would you say that was the biggest like turning point in your life for that?
That is a moment, that moment where everyone cheered my name at the end of that public speech, I will never forget for the rest of my life, ever.
Perfect. No, I think something that's. Would you, in terms of what you've done, because obviously you've done a lot, like you say, you've been through a lot. We've discussed that in the last hour or so.
Yeah.
What would you say is your biggest fail? The biggest thing that's gone wrong. What would you say your biggest failure, and how have you overcome that? What would you say is the biggest thing that's gone wrong? But you, like you say, you've come out of everything and you're better from the other side. But what would you say would be the biggest thing that caused you to have that turnaround?
That's hard.
Yeah.
Like, because my spiral downwards, wow, I'd say when I moved was the start of the spiral downwards, because I was very like happy-go-lucky where I was, and I came to Redditch and everything changed. Like, I just instantly became shy. I'd never been put in a situation like it. And I just went in on myself, and that probably really didn't help. Is I went in on myself. I didn't really know what to do. I didn't really know who I was. Like, it's like when I moved, it was like I lost all of my identity.
Why do you think that was?
I was a naturally shy person anyway. Like, whenever we go to like family greetings or anything like that, if there was anyone I'd never really met, I wouldn't talk to them.
Yeah, because you said that to me, haven't you? And you said you're all right when everyone in the room, but as soon as one person comes in that you don't know, it
only takes one person, and that's the scary part. Is throughout most of my life, it has only taken one person in the room that I haven't known for me to go in on myself.
And did NCS change that?
A lot, yeah.
So I just headbutt my mic, just turn my face to look at Josh. That's that close to my face.
Yeah, NCS changed that a lot. Like that was like the catalyst, and then over time it's helped more and more and more. And I've been able to, at least when I'm in those social situations, even if it's just faking it till I make it, I've managed to at least try and enjoy myself. Like we went to this wedding last year, and like I met people that I'd never really spoken to before. I was able just to talk to them, sit and just have a nice little conversation and get along with them and stuff like that. And that is a big thing.
What are your 3 biggest lessons from life so far? Because you've come so far. You're a person.
Yeah, because I was going to flip it and say, what was like? This is, it ties in. What would you say would your biggest success? So the lesson that you've learned from your failures, and how would you say that came out as a success?
Lessons from life.
Yeah.
So the biggest lessons is like always stay true to yourself. And I know it's very hard. It's very hard, and you will lose yourself at some point in your life. You will lose who you are.
But it takes that to find who you are now.
It takes that to find who you are, and it's like that's a big thing. Is stay true to you. There is like something I've always, and the another thing that I always say is like, how do I put this? Like, never forget, and it's similar to when I said about YouTube, but in life in general, never forget the bad things that happen to you. One of the biggest things, one of the biggest like quotes and stuff I always remember is, don't become sad of the bad days, because you wouldn't have bad days without the good ones to come first.
Yes, exactly.
And that quote was very poignant, and I probably butchered it, but that quote was poignant because it's like, you do not know what a bad day is without the good days to come. Now, when you're feeling as though you're getting bad day after bad day after bad day, you know there's good days in there, because if every day was a bad day, you wouldn't know what the bad days were. And it's using those, like the moments in life where you feel so down, you feel like you failed or something like that, or you feel like, oh, maybe I could have done this better, blah blah. Like, use that as a catalyst. Like the ex that I allude to, that like messed with my head a lot, I will never let anyone mess with me that way again. So in a way, though she's my biggest curse to ever happen to me, she's the biggest blessing as well. Yeah. Because she made me know my worth a little bit more. She made me realise that I can't let anyone do that to me again. And that can be used for so many different things as well, just in life.
It can. I think that's a nice place to leave that section of the podcast. But unless you've got anything else to say, I think that's a nice.
I mean, yeah. I maybe just one thing.
Yeah.
You said you didn't tell your family as much.
Yeah.
With that, I mean, why was that? But really, I don't really want to ask why, but I more want to say, like, how did you? Because I know I'm very close to my mum, and I know a lot of the reason why I'm here is because I'm mum. But how did you cope with necessarily? Maybe not talking to your family as much, and maybe more being like on your own. Because
I find it very hard, and I still do. Like, and that's why moving away and moving to Sheffield has helped a lot, because being away from my family, like I love my family to bits. I love them to bits, but I've always felt as though like something's just never felt. Like I can't speak to them about anything. Like, I can speak to them about some things, but not like anything as in like everything. Like, I couldn't go to any member of my family and go, this is what I'm feeling, blah blah. Like, I couldn't do that to every member. Like, so that's why I think the friendship thing hurt the most, was because I relied on my friendships for that emotional support, because I don't necessarily get that loads from my family side. So to get that more from my friends was needed. And that's where you guys have helped a lot, is you guys have understood that. And without me having to tell you, you guys have understood that I definitely need that emotional support from my friends, because I don't necessarily get it as much from there. Like, because I'm always there for my family. Like, so my great nan passed away last year, during the pandemic and stuff, and I was the only one in my family not to cry. And that was not because I wasn't sad, but because I had to be there for them. Because I knew they would be sad. So I took it upon myself to be the person to be there for them. And that's what I always feel like I am with my family. I'm always there for them. And they are always there for me. If I ever needed them, they would always be there. But I feel like emotionally, it's like I need to be there for them.
Boss.
And because of that, I then get the emotional support mainly from my friends, because I do struggle talking to my family, and I've never ever been able to pinpoint the reason for that.
Nice.
That's fine. Yeah, should we move on to shit house of the week?
Let's do shit house.
Let's do shit house of the week. We need to whiz through this because I've got a train to catch soon. So, well, I've got to leave in like 40 minutes, but I've still got loads of stuff to do on the flat. So,
Okay.
yeah. So let's whiz through this.
We'll help
Shit house of the week. So this week's. Let's cut there because I need to check this recording because we've been going a long time now.
This is where you find out that me and Jonny have been outshot the entire time.
Yeah, I've been recording for about half an hour of it. No, it's still good. Bloody hell, I didn't think it'd go that long.
Nice.
Right, I'll just carry on. I won't touch it. I'll just cut this.
And we're both been shot then?
Yeah.
Perfectly. That's good.
I think it's going to be. Look, but I knew you were. Can't I say you were because you jump up? Don't like Josh, but Josh is definitely in because that fridge is in there. So.
Yeah, I need to admit.
Right. So yeah, do you want to do your shit house of the week song? Go on quickly.
How do you do that?
Shit house of the week.
Shit house of the week.
Shit house of the week.
Yeah. Right. So this week's shit house of the week is the news. I'll bring my mic closer so we can read the story headline. The story headline of this week's shit house of the week is: I'm the product of a secret affair, and my sister has no idea she's dating my real dad. So, the shit house this week is the sister. It's all very complicated. It does sound very complicated. Basically, what it is this woman took to Reddit anonymously on the Reddit forum, the Am I the Asshole forum. She explained how she discovered that she was a product of an affair. So she said when she was 17, when she was conceived, her dad decided to forgive her mum and let her mum stay with her, even though her mum had an affair. But then when she was 17, her mum took her out for ice cream to meet this biological father and explained what had happened. A, making a promise that she wouldn't tell her older sister, because obviously she didn't want her older sister to know she had an affair. And B, hammering home along with my biological father that he'd never be part of her life. So basically it went on to find that her sister has always had a thing for older people, and because her biological sister did never know that this affair happened, her sister then saw a photo of her older sister with her new boyfriend, which turned out to be her biological father.
Wait, is the older sister related to the father?
No.
Okay, they're not related.
No, because he's the affair. He's the guy who she had an affair with. So they're not related, but in a weird way they kind of are, because her sister.
There is blood in both.
So her sister is dating her dad, and she can't say anything.
No, because obviously it's made it clear that she can't. So this week's shit house of the week goes to the sister, because that is incredible. What do you do with that?
Or is it the dad?
Is it the dad? I agree. Is it the dad?
The dad, no, but the dad's weird. That is weird on the dad's part, because the dad is then going for a sister of his daughter,
Which is the shit house.
Which is
Surely
the
he
shit
would
house,
know.
isn't he?
He would know because
He would know.
There'll be pictures. He would know. She can't say anything.
Yeah, true.
The dad is the shit house of this week because he knows all of it.
Yeah,
And he's got no obligation to not say anything. Like, he can say something. He could just not date her.
Like, imagine how weird that'd be. You're thinking
that?
in bed.
What's that?
she told her sister. She said here, I debated what to do for a couple of days and ultimately decided she needed to know the truth and told her. My sister did not take it well and dumped him, but she wasn't angry with me. My mum, on the other hand, was furious. She says I divulged something that wasn't my secret to share and that I had no business telling anyone. So yeah, so the biological father isn't related to the sister, so it
The
doesn't
mum's
matter.
angry at the sister.
So why is the mum angry? The mum, the
The
sister.
mum should have had the affair.
Yeah.
The sister has just gone, right, by the way, you're shagging my dad, right? The mum has then gone, no, you should have let that happen.
Yeah, literally.
But it's okay.
So yeah,
So the dad is the shit house.
Dad is the shit house.
is the
We've
shit house.
diverted and Dad is the shit house. So yeah, let's move swiftly on to the bar. Sorry, we're just rushing through this last bit because how long have we been going? Over an hour, nearly an hour and a half.
Yeah, but we did pause for
Yeah, we did pause for it. Yeah,
That's
for about 5 minutes of it, but
It's
still.
fine. We're going to help you pack. Do not
That's
worry.
fine. Well, I'm packed, but I just need to sort it out.
That's the thing. We'll help.
Are we?
Calm down.
Yeah, I'm going to say
Josh
Josh wasn't planning on.
planning to go to bed, but I guess I'll help because I'm a good friend.
Fuck off and help.
So yeah, anyway, the board this week, I'll do my general spiel for the board. Basically, the board each week, this is your first time doing it, Connor, so any new listeners, you basically nominate something, we all go through, nominate one thing each week for the board. It can be absolutely anything, as long as you've got a reason to why you've nominated. It can be trending, it can be something you hate, something you like, blah, 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 you know the drill. So I'll put the graphic on screen now of what the board looked like before this week. Woo! And yeah, so basically that's what it looks like. We are going to be nominating. Who should we go? Who should go first? Should I go first? I'd never go first.
Yeah,
I never go first. This week, I'm struggling because I had a few that I was going to go for this week. I'm going to actually go for. Do you know what? I'm going to go for Lord of the Rings because
I knew you would.
This week I have taken Connor through. I have put Connor through nearly. Was it about 28 hours of film? So we watched. It wasn't. Well, we haven't watched them all this week. We've done them like a few weeks back as well. But we watched the whole of the Hobbits. Extended versions, which are about 3 hours long each, and then we watched the whole of the Lord of the Rings, which are about 4 hours average, the extended. So yeah, I'm going to nominate that because they are the greatest franchise of films ever. I will not argue that Harry Potter is better because Lord of the Rings is always better, and it is incredible. That is my.
Never seen it.
You've not seen it?
No.
It's probably too long. It's too long for you. Your attention.
What do you mean? No.
Your attention span.
I'm good at movies.
I know you're good at movies, but you could sit there for 5 hours.
I just found it really boring.
Yeah, exactly.
It was so boring when I was watching it. It was so slow.
When did you watch it?
I was like 12.
Yeah, well, exactly. You probably appreciate it now. Like Connor watched it when he was younger, and he appreciated it now.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Who knows?
We might put you through again. Should we really watch it all?
Give me a year.
Right, Josh, do you wanna... Yeah, do you want to go?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm so excited. Anyway, I'm nominating polos.
Okay. Yeah, we had this debate. Yeah. This is actually nearly one of my nominations, you know.
Was it?
That would have been weird.
Who won the poll? Me.
Yeah, you won it 64. I think you won it 64.
Because you called the fruit polos elite.
Fruit polos are the best polos. Let us know if you've made it far the podcast. Let us know what your favourite flavour of polos are.
They're not elite.
Mint.
But I'm putting polos in it because I've eaten a lot this week. I'm a chewer, not a sucker.
Context Josh Bailey at it again.
And yeah. And they're just really nice. I really enjoy eating them.
I'm a chewer, not a sucker.
And I enjoy eating them a lot.
Surely you suck polos now?
Nah, I chew them, biting them, eat them.
Yeah. Do you not like suck them lately to make them minty? Do you not? Just bite them.
You're right, Connor. Anyway, so polo is my nomination.
Yeah, so
Connor,
I mean, fruit polos are elite, but we'll go with mint if you want.
Yeah, mint polos.
It's been polos. It's not fruit polos.
Go on, Connor. What's your nomination? Seems like the first time, and you'll be doing it again next week. So let's hear your nomination.
My nomination this week is on the fly. So I had a few in my mind.
Okay.
And then I came today and I was like, no.
That's not where the best ones come from. Like the Tinder. By the way, the Tinder is incredible. When John gets back, that section of the podcast is going to be insane.
Is John back next Saturday?
Yes. So we'll have Connor and a guest on next week, which in the works. We've got a guest on, hopefully in person.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to format that, but hopefully in person we will have a guest next week. So yeah. Go on, sorry, Connor, you were saying.
So I have multiple in my mind, and then today changed everything.
Okay.
Now, me and Josh went on a little adventure today. So my nomination is inflatables.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
You talk about fruit polos being elite. Inflatables are elite.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're 5, 60, 30. Inflatables are so much fun.
We have so much fun.
So much fun.
They are good, aren't they?
They are just amazing. Like, you can never be too old.
You can never grow out of inflatables. No.
They are amazing. So they have to go on the board.
They were like inflatable games.
Inflatable games. So you had inflatable basketball, darts, and some like shooting game.
Shoot thing.
And
then we did the thing where you have to. It wasn't inflatable.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The electronic.
Yeah. And Connor walked away because kept buzzing the thing.
Yeah, because
They're annoying though, aren't they?
Josh doesn't understand that you're meant to not buzz it, so he just goes the entire way.
Fair enough. So yeah, that is the board. I'll put the graphic on screen now of what it looks like. So yeah, basically, it's been a long. I think it's our longest episode yet.
Probably is.
Probably is our longest episode yet.
So you're trying to say I talk a lot?
No, it's good.
Interesting man,
yeah, you're right. You've got lots to say. And obviously, the people need to get to know you because they're going to see you in the future. Yes. Next week, for example, they will be seeing you for definite. When in the future, who knows? Could be a few.
Maybe you'll just replace John.
Depends.
Actually, on the we won't us three won't be back, because I think I'll be away for that weekend, that 22nd weekend.
No, you won't.
When it's the League Cup. I will, because it's my sister's birthday, so I won't be here.
Oh, none of us will be here on that week. Oh, wait, no. Will you not be on the Friday then?
Probably not now.
Oh, us two. The Jonny and Josh show.
Oh, it's Connor.
Sorry, I get really excited about the Johnny and Josh show.
It's gone over to
just
get
because the alliteration.
Yeah. Were you not off London?
Josh. Yeah, but that's on a Sunday.
On Sunday, okay.
I'll tell you what, I'm not here. May the 7th. So Connor, you put yourself in there.
Okay, well there you go.
Because it's my mum's birthday.
So yeah, there's a few dates that Connor's going to be here for. It's going to help out us a lot.
It's a good job. I never leave, isn't it?
Yeah, good job.
It's a real good job.
So yeah, if you haven't already, Connor's socials will be down in the description along with our socials as well. If you want to go check them out. As per usual, Johnny's won't be there though this week.
Thank you, Johnny.
John never come back.
So yeah, next week we will have a guest. Touch wood, nothing goes wrong, but we should have a guest for next week's, and it is going to be a good one, because we're going to educate Josh, me and Connor next week with the guest, because the guest is a guest.
You've heard of educating Yorkshire, you've heard of educating Essex, now you've heard of educating Josh Bailey.
So thank you all for watching, and goodbye.